Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So if you're new here, my name is Carissa. If you're returning, then welcome back. So I've been away for a while because I'm recovering from bronchitis. So if my throat is a little funny, that's why. So anyway, I was back at the theatre for the first time in a while, seeing Moonfall, and I was really excited to see this movie because I'm a huge fan of those disaster movies, especially ones with like a tidal wave, but basically any type of disaster movie. You know, I love like San Andreas with the earthquakes, Twister, and when you think of Roland Emmerich, you think like disaster movies because he is the king of disaster. Like, you know, there's those directors like Tim Burton. When you think of Tim Burton, you think of those creepy kids movies that are probably going to give you nightmares for a long time to come. And when you think of Roland Emmerich, you think disaster movie. But a lot of people really didn't like the Godzilla movie. But I love that movie, the one from the 90s. And Independence Day, I think that was a great movie. Though Independence Day 2 was horrible, I would say that Independence Day 2 is the only disaster movie that Roland Emmerich has done that I really haven't enjoyed until Moonfall. And I was hoping that Moonfall would sort of redeem him and make up for Independence Day 2, but instead it's just made me think that maybe he sort of lost his magic, because I think this is the latest movie that he's made in the disaster movie sort of category since Independence Day 2, so I don't know, maybe he's just lost his touch because this was a horrible movie. And I had really high expectations for this movie because, like I said, I love this genre. I love disaster movies, and they're definitely not the sort of movies that are going to win any Oscars, you know, they're not going to win awards, but not every movie needs to be incredibly deep and thought-provoking and clever. Sometimes you can just have that cheesy action blockbuster type fun, and that is what this movie should be. But unfortunately it just had a few problems. So I would say the first problem is the cast. So we had a really good cast. We had, I forget his name, but the guy from Game of Thrones. So we had Halle Berry from the Catwoman movie, which I'm still trying to forget about. If any of you have seen the Catwoman movie, then you know what I'm talking about. We had Patrick Wilson, and he's a good actor. He's been in like the Conjuring universe movies and the Phantom of the Opera movie with Gerard Butler. He did a good job, but I just felt like his character was written to be such a cliche. It was the cliche disgraced man trying to redeem himself. And that storyline of the man seeking redemption is very prolific in these types of disaster movies. Like in Independence Day, there was the guy saying that he got abducted by aliens who nobody believes. And the Game of Thrones guy is that typical cliche, you know, the scientist who figures out what's going on before anybody else, and he tries to warn people but they won't believe him. This movie has a lot of cliches. You know, they can be good, they can be fun if they're done correctly, but with Moonfall, it just felt like they were going along trying to tick off all the boxes, you know. But they didn't have the cliche that I like, you know, the dog that narrowly manages to avoid destruction. There's always, you know, that dog that manages to just miss out on the huge tidal wave or something like that. Sorry, bronchitis. Anyway, so with Halle Berry, I felt like she just really did not care about this movie. Her performance felt really phoned in. You could just tell that she wasn't giving it her all. So yeah, it just felt like they were just badly written characters. I really did think that the guy, the Game of Thrones guy, as I will continue to call him until I find out his name, he was definitely the best part of this movie. I think he was a fun character. He really brought life to the movie, which otherwise felt really lifeless. And this movie it felt like nobody was reacting the way that people were meant to react in the situations which they were in. Like, for example, they were literally stuck on the moon with no way to get back to Earth, and they were so calm and not panicking, and the people on Earth were about to have the moon fall on them, and they were also calm. Like, everybody was way too calm in this movie. So I think the visuals were the best part of this movie. One thing that really annoyed me was how much of the movie was focused in space. Like, obviously it's a movie about the moon, but still, they could have shown more of the destruction that was happening on Earth. It would have been a lot more interesting than what we saw in space. Like, is it too much to ask for a tidal wave or an earthquake? Like, we saw some things, but not really a lot of them. So, spoiler alert, basically the storyline is a little bit complicated. Mainly because, I don't know, maybe I was just really sick on the day I saw it still, but a little bit of it went over my head, I admit. So basically, hundreds of years ago, humans lived on the moon and they created the moon. And then there was this evil alien technology, like artificial intelligence technology, and the AI technology took over everything and killed all the humans, so they had to go to planet Earth. And the AI technology, it sort of looks like Venom. Like, I don't know, I just kept thinking Venom, like, am I in a Marvel movie when I was watching this? I think they should have kept it simple, none of the AI stuff. And, you know, the movie just took itself way too seriously. I thought it would be so ridiculous that it would almost venture into satire. You know, it would be a movie that seemed very satirical, but it wasn't like that at all, and it could have benefited from being more fun, not taking itself so seriously. I mean, it's a movie about the moon falling. So I would give it a 4 out of 10. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of it.